Hello, and welcome to the Broker Collective Series, One of One. My name is Kyle Benzies, and I'm here with Deep, part of DLC AIMI Collective Mortgage Group. We have some lovely questions for you here today. Deep, as a top producer, I would say top producer, right? In 2025, I think you closed $25-ish million worth of deals. What made you get into the industry as a mortgage broker?
As you know, I have been working closely with Asim from last 3 to 4 years, seeing him reaching heights that actually motivated me a lot. You get to see that freedom, you taste it once, and there's no going back. That's what I felt at that point of time. I liked working as an admin. I was investing almost 8 to 10 hours of my day.
Wow.
And then later on, I decided, why not just to work on your own self? That actually motivated me, to be very honest with you. Yeah.
In charge of your own schedule.
Yes, 100%.
Very nice. What type of clients do you like working with?
I would say first-time home buyers,
Okay. Start to finish.
start to finish.
Wow.
Yes,
It's a lot of work.
lot of work. When Kyle I started, I was too scared to talk to people.
Okay.
Yeah, that this isn't me. Even when I was in the office, I used to talk to people who I was so comfortable with, and completely going out of that zone. I had to step out because you don't see those paychecks coming in every month.
Not at all.
Not at all.
The start is
exact-
the hardest part, right? How do
Exactly.
you stay motivated?
At that point of time, I was like, either you go back to the job or you gotta thrive deep.
Absolutely.
I used to cry. I used to like stay away from people, not talk to them, and see, okay, what's stopping me? What can I do? How can I talk to people? And then slowly I started to realize you just have to make them feel comfortable.
What kept you in the game, though? That's because getting over that hurdle, that would have been tough.
Exactly.
What kept you in the game where you knew that at some point you were going to hit a mark like you did in 2025?
Yeah, like I started in August 2024, and I did the first deal of my best friend.
Okay.
And that was very smooth. And I felt like, okay, this is easy. And then slowly, my goal was to do first 5 deals because it was just few months left, right? Like August to December. I was like, you got to do 5 deals and see how things are going to go. If you feel like, okay, this is the right thing for you, go for it. If not, just find something for yourself. Go back to that job. That it isn't like we are not going to get anything, right? And then I started feeling, oh, people are so comfortable talking to me. They're so happy. And that's what I found out, that this is your niche. You just have to make them feel so comfortable, so trusting that they even ask you the silliest question. And that's what people do. They pick up the phone, they're like, we are asking a silly question, but we don't have anybody else to talk to. We need to talk to you about this. And I love it when people say this to me. And this actually made me reach this point.
Yeah, a lot of mortgage brokers, they don't like
Yes.
dealing with first-time home buyers, and they
Exactly.
kind of look at it as like dealing. Like there's a lot of hand-holding, but that turns
much.
into a very loyal client.
Exactly.
And then you get all the referrals from all their friends and
Yeah.
family. But it also allows you the opportunity to see somebody's life change.
Exactly,
Right?
yes.
A lot of these clients, first-time home buyers, they aren't. They go to 5 different banks. They
They
go
do.
to 3 different brokers, and they don't
Yeah.
realize that it's hurting them. So when they can
Yeah.
engage with somebody like you that can show them all the steps,
Exactly.
give them a solid game plan,
100%.
it works for
The
them.
same time you are learning as well along with them. I was doing the same thing. I wasn't too expert, I would say. Still learning, lots to learn. But at the same time, I was learning too. I was researching every single question the client was asking because all those questions were the same. Every single question was the same. It was just, it was asked in a different manner.
Absolutely.
And now on the top, like I know what the client is going to ask. And before that, everything is all cleared.
So how did you find that DLC AIMI Collective Mortgage Group, how do you feel that helped you grow as a mortgage broker? Because you knew the space, You heard the talks going on in the office
All the time.
but you weren't a licensed mortgage broker, so you were fairly limited in what you could do.
Yeah.
Once you actually were able to do everything as a licensed mortgage broker, how did the brokerage help you?
Still, if I have any questions, it's picking up the phone and calling them, either Rasim or anybody in the office that I feel like, okay, this person would be available to speak to me. And then, yes, of course, the community, especially our office space, you can ask even the silliest question right there in the group. Nobody's gonna say, okay, what are you asking? Like Mike, I hope you remember, like he
do.
used to answer every single question anybody
Did.
used to
With a
ask.
smile on his face every time.
Exactly. So yes, even if it's the silliest thing, I would say I still search online in our chat, and sometimes of course bug a seam on that. Otherwise, it's a great community, seminars and the meetings that we do, like the monthly
There's
meetings.
lots of them now.
Exactly, yeah. So it's a great help from the brokerage for sure.
I want to go on to a story, a client, something
Okay.
a little more heartfelt, something that has touched you that you reflect on. Do you have a story like that? I have many of them. I can think of the very first. Can I tell you mine?
Yeah.
Okay, so the very first one that Ramin and I did, the very first mortgage that we did together. This was the first mortgage that I did as a mortgage broker. The client came to us at 9 o'clock at night.
Okay.
This was a conversation that had already taken place with this client maybe days prior. The client didn't commit to us. They went with somebody else, and they had a very quick subject removal date. The next day was their subject removal date. So they came to us at 9 o'clock at night and they said, our other mortgage broker isn't even communicating with us. The bank that we've gone to isn't communicating with us. And we have subject removal tomorrow.
Okay.
What did Ramin and I do? We got to work.
Right
And
away.
we worked until about midnight that night, collecting documents from the client, getting it submitted over to the lender. By the very next day, we had a conditional approval from Scotia, and we funded that deal. No problem at all. The clients, we knew that if there was already backup offers in place,
Exactly.
they would have lost that home had we not stepped in because everybody else was fumbling. So that's the thing that made me realize I actually can make a difference.
Yeah.
What's yours?
Especially with Kyle, first time home buyers, they are so confused all the time. So many questions, of course. Scared at the same moment, sharing documentation, sharing personal information. They're like, okay. With the bank, they already have that trust built on.
That's true.
Yeah. They don't have to do the hard work.
They have their bank accounts, their credit cards.
Everything.
They've already trusted them with all of that personal
Exactly.
information.
And we as mortgage professionals, we basically have to do the hard work. Firstly, build their trust, and then start the entire thing. So that's what I feel like with most of my clients. My main thing is building that trust.
How do you
The
build that
questions.
trust?
Kyle, initially I thought like, who's gonna trust me? To be very honest, they're gonna think, oh, she's just like ABC age, and she might not know enough. I had that feeling in me. I used to get so overwhelmed with this thing. Then I found like, okay, even they are first time home buyers, they don't know anything. If I would be in the space, they just want to see if they want to talk to a person who's going to make them just so comfortable, feel like, okay, somebody's hearing them out. So I found that in every first time home buyer. And when they come to the office as well, they're like, firstly, with the space, they feel so comfortable. And then talking to me, I had a client call me yesterday at 10:30 because she was so confused on the construction process. So if I wouldn't have talked to her, she would have just gone crazy all night.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Do you find that the brokerage or Dominion lending centers, that being licensed under either of these has helped you out in building that trust?
Yeah, 100% brokerage has helped a lot in that. And when we say I work with Dominion Lending Center, you already get the trust built
20
on.
years.
Exactly.
Just celebrated
Yes.
20-year anniversary.
100%. And when they get to know, okay, you work with so many lenders, And instead of we just shopping around, going everywhere, getting a credit check done, we just have to go to that perfect person, and that person is going to do everything.
That's something. So going back to first-time home buyers and credit checks,
Yeah.
how many clients do you see that have already gone around and had their
So
credit pulled 4, 5, 6 times, not realizing that their great credit score is now poor because
Exactly.
of all these pulls?
Yes. It's very hard to explain initially to them, okay, that's what has affected you, because they want to, right now in today's market, they're like, what's the best rate? That's the first question. They just want to get the best rate, even they have to do 10 credit checks. But when you guide them through, explain them, this is going to affect you, instead of you shopping around, that's what we are here for. We are going to do the entire work for you. You just have to provide us with the set of documentation we are going to need. I recently had a client, I had to let her go. Yes, for sure. Many thing happens, of course, right? So she had credit check, almost, I would say 12 credit checks from one single company.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And she didn't knew about it. She was thinking it's just one credit check.
Yikes.
When I pulled her credit bureau, I did tell her, she's like, crazy. So that's how people work. Maybe they did not share that information with her, but she was kind of rate specific client. So I had to say, okay.
Rates are a part of the puzzle, but not the entire, they're not the solution, right?
That's not the solution. You have to sometimes let them go. Initially, I used to get hurt. I used to take things so personally that maybe I did something wrong. Maybe I did not provide that particular thing that they were looking for. But then I was like, okay, whatever you do your 100%. They have to go. They're gonna go, whether it be rate or anything else they're looking for.
Do you find that in the initial engagement call that you can weed out if this client really wants a mortgage solution, or if they think that they know what is best for themselves?
Yes.
How do you figure that out?
When I initially talk to a client, especially with their tone, I get to know this person is interested or not.
Okay.
Or he's just shopping around. Some people, they right up say to you, okay, we're just shopping around. We want to see what's the best rate you can offer, or what you can do better than others. But initially I was like, okay, I'm going to do this person's mortgage. I'm going to work with this person. I'm going to do this. I'll be doing this. And later on, when you start talking to more people, you get to know them. Now with the call, like the first call, I get to know if he's going to send me the set of documentation I'm looking for or not.
Okay.
So recently, I had a client, he was looking for private mortgage. And the way he was talking to me, right at that point, I knew it. He's not going to send me the documentation. And if he does, he's not going to go further.
What was the sign?
Firstly, he was too fast.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like he'd already maybe chatted with a bunch of people.
I think yes.
Okay.
So he did send me the documentation. I requested him his mother's mortgage statement, and he did not send it to me. He called me today. He's like, what's happening with my mortgage? And I was like, you did not send me full set of documentation. He's like, I cannot do it. I was like, why? I knew it at the very first point. He's not gonna be proceeding for sure. And then later on, he's like, I was just checking. I got a mortgage from elsewhere, but I know he did not get anything. He was just fooling around.
Oh, wow. Okay. So that's one of the things that I've seen. And I think that we're seeing it more and more where people, they don't want to supply everything.
Yeah.
And then they still want the professional opinion.
Exactly.
We're licensed professionals, right? And the way I explain it is, as a licensed professional, I need all the tools in place in order for me to give you that professional opinion.
Yeah.
Us having a conversation over the phone, that's in no way going to give you my professional opinion.
Yeah.
If I see your documents to substantiate everything that we talked about over the phone, and your online application and a credit check, not please don't pull my credit. But when I have all the facts in front of me, then I can actually put my best foot forward as a licensed professional, give that professional opinion, and then we're off to the races.
Exactly.
They get their mortgage solution.
Yes. So. And when somebody sent you the documentation, of course, 80% of the work is done. It's just the 20% we have to work on.
And there's a lot of, like when you actually look at your time spent with first-time home buyers, there's a significant amount of time as a broker to actually get them to that finish line. There's a ton of questions. I've done the breakdown. I look at the questions that they ask, the amount of call time that I have, the amount of emails, the over explanation, but also simplified explanations. There's a lot of time that goes into a first time home buyer. And it's very
Yeah,
rewarding. It can be
it
super
is.
rewarding.
But now I feel like initially, yes, it was too much time consuming. Now that's what I said. I already know what they're gonna ask, so I answer them right away before they coming to me back and forth. But I feel like, especially investors and somebody who's refinancing, their questions are at a very different level.
They
For
are.
me, I feel like yes, too many questions. They do know the process, but they're like, no, what do I do here? Especially with the refinance transaction. And recently, I did an alternative refinance, and he had so many questions back and forth. How do I pay my property tax? Yes, I don't want to pay this debt. After signing everything, we had to reinstruct the application almost twice.
Wow. Okay.
When they go to the lawyer, it's a very different story. That's what I found in refinance transactions. First time home buyers, so clean, so easy. They don't have any questions because everything is already
Where's
cleared
your
out.
down payment? What are you buying?
Yeah. Like everything is already sent to the bank. They basically go there and sign the documentation. Before even going to the lawyer, I outline all the steps. This is what's going to happen at the lawyer. So, yeah, any questions, you can give me a call. But I haven't received any, like even a single call when somebody's sitting there, especially in purchase, but refinance, so many calls.
So how do you do that with first-time home buyers? How do you outline the process? Is that an email? Is that a text message? A phone call? You have to put their mind at ease,
Yeah,
right? So the
100%.
clarity and having something that they can reflect upon.
Exactly.
I'm assuming that there's some mechanism in place. So how are you doing that?
Yes. I learned it like this way being an admin.
Okay.
Yeah. It's been a very awesome, I would say, learning working as an admin.
So shadowing, actually hearing the conversations ahead of
Exactly.
time
Because
before
I
getting
used to
this
help
broker.
everybody in the office, Kyle. Every single email, appraisal, I used to do everything, just not the underwriting process, collecting documentation, like sending lawyer
Basically,
information.
whatever you could do without needing a
Exactly.
license.
Yes. I used to help the underwriters on that part, and this has helped me a lot. So, my process is basically firstly talking to the client over the phone, or I 100% of the time, I would say I prefer sitting them with them in person.
Wow.
Yeah, I love meeting my clients.
Okay. That's not normal nowadays for brokers. Most brokers, they
Yeah,
want to do digital. I prefer doing digital.
I prefer in person.
Okay.
That's the reason I got an office.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because I was noticing that I meet the clients over the weekend. So I have to schedule them accordingly because I was using this office. Of course, everybody is in the office during the weekdays, and it becomes a hassle for them as well, right? Somebody coming in, room availability, all that stuff.
So that could definitely be helping with building the trust. They're
Yes.
seeing your face.
Exactly, yes. It actually build trust. They get to know who they're working with, and I like to know who am I going to be working with for sure. And then of course when you talk to them in person, they get more comfortable to you and building trust instead of they just going and shopping around. You're right there. And yes, I do with most of my clients. And
Meet,
that was
meet in person.
yes, and that's the only reason I got an office. I wanted to see them.
So you find I would say that builds probably the most amount of trust actually
Yes.
getting together with them in person. So
Yeah.
that doesn't need to be an office though. That could be a coffee shop in a
I
private
used to
sort of
do that,
controlled
Kyle.
setting. Yeah, the
I
coffee
used to,
shop.
yeah. And the clients were like, coffee shop? Few of them did say this to me, and then I was like, oh, okay. Maybe they feel like, okay, it's something very their information is so sensitive. They need to be
It is
in
sensitive,
yeah.
exactly. So it'd have to be a very private sort of coffee shop.
Exactly, yes.
But I could see how that may not make you look as professional.
Exactly.
They might wonder, where is the office?
Yes.
Is this a side gig? Do they do this as
Yeah.
just, do they have a full-time job and periodically do a mortgage?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
And that was my main reason to get an office and meet them in person. They get to know, okay, this is a professional space. Most of my clients have complimented the space. Like it's so nice. We can talk anything. It's like a closed room and no information is leaking out. So yes, I like meeting the clients.
So if you could sum up your experience thus far, 25 million last year, you're doing pretty good. You probably sky high for 2026. Sounds like you've maybe found a home, would I say?
When you start, Kyle, of course, you need a mentor to guide you. Of course, not every step of the way, because that person is also doing his job. But for me, sitting next to a seams room, hearing him, what he's saying, talking to clients, just shadowing him was really an asset, I would say. And it's been a game changer for me. And since day one till now, he's always available. Not only him, I would say the entire community, our collective office, anybody you can talk to, they're readily available to help you out in every situation. Yeah,
It's a true community,
100% it is.
a collective mortgage group.
Yes.
There you go.
And I'm happy
So
to be here.
sounds like you are. It sounds like you maybe found home.
Home, I did.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm just so comfortable with everybody. I can pick up the phone and call anyone. It's not like I have to text somebody, are you available? Something like that. Everybody's ready to help, even if you were a new agent, starting fresh, or you were a top producer. Yeah,
It's refreshing.
it is.
Thank you so much for meeting with us today.
Thank you, Kyle.
Thanks for being here.